Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I thought I would give vlogging a little miss this week. I've really enjoyed vlogging and I'll definitely be back vlogging next week, but it was bank holiday Easter weekend and I wanted to just chill, spend time with Rich and Gray, not really like think about filming too much. I also feel like, which I think everyone feels like in this kind of lockdown situation, that the vlogs are just like the same thing every time. Although I know you guys don't mind, you love that kind of vlog. I do too, I get it. So I will be back vlogging probably next week. But for this week, I thought I would just do a sit down chatty Q&A instead because I haven't done one in a little while. It's a really nice way to be able to like update you guys on things and catch up. And I asked on Instagram for some questions. So I've just picked a load. I haven't really thought about it at all and I'm just gonna go through them now. Okay, the first question is, how are you and how is life as a mum now that Gray is almost 1? Oh my god, she's 11 months today. That just reminded me we have to take her little photo. I can't believe she's almost 1. It's totally insane. Where has this year gone? I'm good. I feel really good. So many people said to me, like, give it 9 months and you'll start to feel like yourself. And I think that's really true. From 9 months, I started feeling like me. And now closer to like 11 months, I really just feel like me again in all different ways, like physically, but mainly mentally as well. I finally just feel like the fog has cleared. I have got this like mum thing down. I know what I'm doing. Well, most of the time. I don't think anyone really knows what they're doing, but you know, I'm not terrified of everything anymore. I feel really happy and content. I think now is a time where a lot of people get pregnant again because if it takes 9 months to cook a baby, you know, your first baby's almost 2 when you have your second, which I think is an age gap a lot of people have. I just can't imagine it. Like, I want to. I'm 30, oh no, not the age thing again. I have no idea how old I am, but I probably should like get on with having more kids. But oh my god, I've just started feeling like me again and I need a bit of time like that. I cannot imagine getting pregnant straight away like right now. I need some time. I'm really enjoying like finally getting back into work, feeling like I have a bit of time, a bit of like headspace to get creative again with content. And I just want to have like a bit of me time again before I get back into that process. Obviously it's a massive privilege to have a baby and get pregnant, but it's a long process. You're pregnant for 9 months and then say you have 9 to 10 months afterwards of not feeling yourself. That's like almost 2 years where you are like on pause. I don't think I was prepared for that before. The answer to your question is I feel great. I feel like me again and I'm really loving it. Have you got any more house reno or decorating plans? In terms of renovating, we're done. There's not much more we can do apart from like the garden. That's probably the like biggest work. Eventually, if we want to go up into the loft, I think it will get to the point where we either move house or do the loft, which would give us 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom up there. And I think it's just a case of weighing up costs. Moving, like the stamp duty, all of that is really expensive. But then also you don't want to make your house worth more than it's worth, if that makes sense. There's only, when in your area, there's only a certain amount you can sell a house for. So you don't want to do so much work that you're never gonna like make money on it. So that's like a discussion for the future. Mainly just decorating. Yeah, we're doing a gallery wall in the hallway. I still need to find like a painting for above the sofa in the lounge. At some point we'll figure out like some toy storage area for Gray in like between the kitchen and the lounge and maybe put some like shelves up and move that stuff around. I'm sure that will change. And then I think actually there's another question about have you had any ideas for your office revamp? And that's again like at some point when we have another child, they'll probably go in Gray's room and she'll go in my office. So I've decided actually not to invest money and time into doing up my office because it's not going to be my office for long. We may even move her into that room earlier just because it's a bit bigger, more space for her to play. So I'm kind of leaving it as it is for now. And at some point, I guess we'll be doing like room renovations on those 2 rooms. Other than that though, no plans. What's been the best thing to come out of isolation? I actually did an Instagram post, a little like video montage if you want to go and see that, and I listed out some of the things that I want to continue when this is all over. Things like not feeling like we need to get up and rush out all the time. Like before this it was just a mad rush to get to a baby class, or on a Saturday we'd like get out the house and go for a walk and then go to a market, and I love doing all those things. I can't wait. But I just think now I appreciate just spending a day at home more and knowing that that also can be really enjoyable, whereas before we never really spent that much time at home. I also just am really enjoying cooking and getting experimental and trying out different things, cooking more at home. Like we can actually get takeaway at the moment and we haven't been, just because we've really just been enjoying cooking. And also just like a massive appreciation and being grateful for so many things. Obviously the NHS and all the key workers, but also just appreciating like a hug with a friend. Like I just don't think I was as grateful for something so simple before. And just seeing my grandma, I miss her so much. I used to visit her twice a week. She's 90, and the fact that I can't see her and I don't know how long this will go on for and like when I'll be able to see her. Oh, it kills me. The next question is, what TV shows are you currently watching? We've actually just started 2 new TV shows and I would highly recommend both of them. Quite different. First one is called Quiz, and it's like a UK based TV show. It's on ITV, and it's about Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And when it first started, I was quite young, but I still remember it, how they kind of came up with the idea for the TV show. And then it's also about the first person who won £1 million. So that's really good, very kind of like light and easy to watch. And then the other one is called Hunters, which is very different. It's on Amazon Prime. It's an American program. It's very high production. It's based in the 70s, so the styling and the set design, everything is just amazing visually. But it's about a group of people who are trying to hunt down Nazis who are living in America in the 70s. So this is like after the war, but they're still around and disguised as like normal citizens. And oh my god, it's so brilliant. Strangely, there are like some really funny, quirky moments, but obviously also some really like hard to watch, like quite jumpy moments as well, but really good. That's probably the best thing I've watched since I watched the morning show. It's that level of like production. The next question is, what's your favorite thing that Gray is doing right now? She's at such a cute age. It's funny because my friends who have kids, I remember saying to them when she was like 6 months, like, this is the best age, like I can't imagine it getting better. And they were like, you'll see, like every age you think is the best age, because they're always doing something new and every age has its different like benefits to it. So when she was 6 months and she was cute and she was just sitting, I thought, oh my god, it can't get better than this. I was wrong, of course, because now, even though it's like harder, I literally can't change her nappy because she's just like moving all over the place. Like some things like that are logistically harder. It's so rewarding because she's so cute and engaging. She's just got such a funny little personality. Like she does fake sneezes, so she literally goes achoo just to make us laugh, which is so cute. But she's like sassy. I've got a video on my phone where she sits up in her cot and she stares at the monitor, takes her dummy out and then like throws it out the cot because she knows I'm gonna come in and get it. Like she is gonna have some serious like toddler attitude, I can tell. And what else does she do? So she's not yet like properly crawling, but she kind of moves around. So if I put her on her back, she'll roll over to her front, go up onto her knees and then like sit back. She just always wants to like sit. And she'll also walk. If I hold her hands, she'll walk, put her feet in front of the other. So like over the past few weeks in lockdown, she has grown and changed so much, it's crazy. So I think by the end of this, she'll probably be walking. She's just so full of life. She's a really happy baby to be around. She wakes up from her naps like chatting and like laughing, and she's a real pleasure. And we're very, very lucky to have her. And although having a baby in lockdown has its challenges, I wouldn't have it any other way because she brings us such like joy every day. Because Gray is such a unique name, do you have any ideas on what you might call your next? Absolutely no idea. We didn't even have that many like options for Gray. We had 2. I find it so hard to think of names. I don't like names that everybody has, but then I don't like totally unusual names. I don't know, I'm quite like fussy, I think. And I think we've really like made it difficult for us because grey is like a descriptive word, isn't it? It's a colour. So we couldn't name our next child like, let me think of an example. Say we called our next child like a flower, like poppy. Saying those names together is like we're saying grey poppy instead of like red poppy. I don't know, that's maybe a bad example, but because it's descriptive, I feel like a lot of names that are like objects or animals, which I quite like, now don't really work. Unless maybe it doesn't matter what your kids are called. How often do you say your kids' names together? I don't know. I think we'll have to go for something less unusual next time. But if Gray is old enough, so someone else asked like, would you let Gray pick your next child's middle name? If she's old enough, I definitely would, because that's obviously how I ended up with Pebbles. My sisters chose it. I think that would be cute. She'd probably just say Bunny. What family traditions that you grew up with would you pass on to your kids? So one that's coming up soon, it's gonna be Gray's first birthday in May, and I'm gonna make her a chocolate Smartie cake. So it's literally just chocolate sponge, chocolate icing, and then all different multicolored Smarties on top. And I used to have that every year for my birthday, so I definitely want to continue that for my kids. I know there's all these like fancy rainbow cakes and stuff now, but I just love the fact that that's the cake that I always got, so I want to do that for my kids too. And I don't really know what other traditions there are. Like, I was thinking about starting a thing where we measure her height, like somewhere in the house every year on her birthday, because I always think things like that are quite cute. But I don't know, what traditions do you guys have? Maybe I can come up with some new traditions for us. At what point do you think you'll move out of your current house? So that kind of ties in with one of the questions earlier. At the moment, we can totally have 2 kids here. I mean, we could have more if we did things like bunk beds. If we wanted 3 kids, I think we'd have to like rethink, just because the space upstairs is really small. We'd either have to go into the loft, as I said, or move. I don't know like where we would move to. I think the jump up in London is just too expensive, and also in London you have to think about schools. So there's like an area nearby that has some amazing houses, but the local primary schools and secondary schools actually aren't that good. And in London you just have to go to the one that's local to you, and there are a lot of not so great schools, so that makes it like tricky as well. That's actually a tip. If you're buying your first home and you haven't got kids yet, and you're like, oh yeah, one day I'll have kids, but not really thinking about it, just think about it. Like, think about what the schools are like in the local area. Luckily we did, so we know that the primary schools around here are good, but it is something that you're going to care about eventually. If you could make one change to your house, what would it be? So many house questions. The fridge, I've talked about this before, especially in lockdown. Oh my god, I just wish we'd got a big double American fridge freezer. My mum told us at the time, I should have listened to her, mum's always right. Should have got a single larder and a double fridge, and it's definitely something we're gonna get a quote for and look into, because we need more space. I'm thinking of trying to get pregnant and I feel a bit clueless. Did you take any supplements? So this is something I didn't know anything about before either. Like, I just thought, I don't know, I just thought you'd try and get pregnant. I didn't really know much about it. Or maybe I was quite naive. I don't know. I think that people don't talk about it enough personally. I'd been on the pill for like 15 years. I don't remember if I found this out online or I spoke to my GP possibly. I also have a gynecologist because I've had bladder issues in the past, so I spoke to her and they recommended going on folic, I think it's folic acid. Because being on the pill for so long, my body would have been lacking in that. So I took folic acid supplements. I wish I could say it. I didn't take anything else though, I don't think. I just tried to like stay quite healthy. But other than that, I just didn't understand the whole like ovulation thing. And whenever people talk about it, whenever you look into it, it's like, it says if your cycle is 28 days, then you ovulate 14 days before your periods, right in the middle of your cycle. But no one really ever talks about the fact that not everyone has a 28-day cycle. Like, even now, so it's almost a year after having a baby, I haven't gone back on the pill. My natural cycle is like, sometimes it's 28, sometimes it's 35, like, and when I was trying to get pregnant, I would have like 42-day cycles. So that meant that was like almost 2 months where I like couldn't try to get pregnant because I just kept missing. I kept doing 14 days after I got my period or whatever, thinking that's when I was ovulating, and I wasn't. Everyone's body cycle is totally different. So I found that really hard to know when I was ovulating. I ended up using the little stick that you pee on and it gives you a smiley face if you're ovulating. And eventually I kind of found my rhythm and worked it out, but it was tricky. So don't underestimate that it's not as like easy as maybe it seems. There is only like a 3-day small window of time where you can get pregnant, and you need to work out when that is. Saying that, don't stress. If you're not on like a massive rush, like, take it slow, don't let it stress you out. I just kind of woke up one day and thought I want to have a baby, and it frustrated me that it took like 7 months to work out that rhythm. What do you miss from pre-baby blogger life? Just time. Do you know what? It's not even the press trips and like the events and all the glamorous stuff. Like, obviously it was really fun to do all of that when I could, but mainly it's just having time to like sit and brainstorm and get creative and think of ideas. I used to just kind of, whenever an idea came to me, I would just work on it. Whereas now I only have those 2 days to do work in, so it will get to like a Thursday and it's like, okay, I need to film a video, and that's just not how like creative jobs work. You can't put that pressure. Like, before, when I was working full time, some days it didn't work out, so I'd say, okay, well, today wasn't a day for it, I wasn't really in the mood for filming, I'll do it tomorrow and I'll do something else today. Whereas I haven't got that flexibility anymore. The pressure to get work done on those 2 days is like quite intense, so I just miss the flexibility and the time to be more creative. Has Gray experienced separation anxiety, and how are you dealing with it? Really struggling over here. Yes, I did not know that was a thing. Recently she got into this habit out of nowhere. I was so smug about how like she always self-settled at bedtime, and then suddenly every time we put her to bed she would just scream and cry for like an hour. And I was like, where has this come from? She's not teething, you know, she's not unwell. And I spoke to friends and they were like, yeah, she is at the prime age for separation anxiety. And it makes sense, especially with lockdown. Like, she's with me and Rich 24/7 at the moment. I think it's gonna be quite hard when this is over. I think she's just gonna want to be, she's been so clingy with us, which is nice, but you know, I want her to be good with everyone as well. So we had to start kind of, I wouldn't say sleep training. I didn't like get an expert in. I just spoke to friends who have done a similar thing, and you know, we'd put her to bed and then like stand by the cot until she fell asleep, and then the next night we'd do the same but then stand a little bit further back, and then the next night stand a little bit further back until eventually you're like not in the room anymore. We kind of did that. We did a couple of nights where we like let her cry, but it wouldn't be for more than like 5 minutes. Sometimes all it took was her to just have a big cry and then she'd get so exhausted she'd fall asleep. It hasn't been too bad. I think we're quite lucky, but she's also just learned how to sit up in her cot. So what she does is the minute you put her down, she sits up, and then she gets so tired that she kind of just flops forward and falls asleep, like folded in half, and I'm like, she can't sleep like that, so I have to go in and like move her. So everything's a phase. I think with babies things change all the time and you have to adapt. At the moment, yeah, we have had a bit of separation anxiety, but it's not too bad, I don't think. One more question, another one about Gray. What are you envisioning for Gray's first birthday? Well, I had like a whole thing planned. I didn't want to do anything too over the top, but we had like a little kind of, someone who does a local baby class was going to come and do a party for her. It's you know the book Dear Zoo, they like bring that to life with songs, and we had like 15 little babies coming, and it was going to be really cute. And I wasn't going to like decorate or do anything. I'll just get a bit of food for the adults, party for the kids, done. But now that's not going to happen. I think even if they lift the lockdown by May, we won't be able to have like gatherings like that. So it's such a shame. I'm going to have to cancel that. And so now I feel really guilty that she's not going to have anything. So I like panic ordered this like balloon arch making kit from Amazon, and I thought, you know, I'll just decorate the house and get loads of balloons and she'll enjoy that, and then that's it. What more can we do, really? So it's really sad, actually. I feel sad about it. Not for her, she won't remember, of course she won't, but it's for me. Like, you only get your first baby's first birthday once, but there are so many birthdays in my family in May. 3 of my nephews and Gray, all their birthdays are in May, so it's quite a shame, but maybe we can just like delay it and do it another time. So those are all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. Please leave me a comment. I'll try and reply and get back to you, maybe if you have any extra questions I didn't answer, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.